Good evening, everybody. Rob here at WesternPacificWeather.com. It's currently 1900 Japan Standard Time. That's right around 10 Zulu or Universal Time. 12 Whiskey or Fanapi or Inde, depending on your location here, is just to the south of the Ryukyu Islands. A very close eye wall to that location right now. We'll dig into that in just a moment on the radar shot. It's moving west right around 8 knots with max sustained winds of 100 knots. So the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane out in the Atlantic Ocean for you guys back in the States. Now, current radar shot from JAMA here, showing a very well-defined eye wall and overall circulation, lots of good inflow in a semicircle in the northern end. Some are very equivalent, missing a frame there, that's why it's in and out. This is Miyake Jima, part of the southern Ryukyu Islands right in here. Just had a rain band move through the area, heavy precipitation reported out of OB0. Max sustained winds right around 50 knots or about 55 miles per hour. So, also seeing some gusts, though, reported out of the airfields in there, right around 74 miles per hour. So you're already seeing typhoon strength winds in this area already, with the eye wall still well to the south of this. Expecting this to just skirt the southern edges of these islands right in here. A few islands uninhabited actually down in here. That's probably going to likely make landfall. The main island right in here with the heavy population looks like they're just going to be just north of the northern eye wall, which is in the right front quadrant of this system. So definitely you have to watch this if you're right in this area. Basically the worst location with this storm surge. Definitely stay away from the outer beaches right in this area. I'm sure anybody that's watching this right now probably already down, so they're probably not tuning in to YouTube to watch this update. But basically, for everybody else in this area, just a FYI, this is moving off to the west, expecting this to CPA these islands within the next 6 hours and head off towards Taiwan. And speaking of Taiwan, just showing their radar right now. Currently, outer rain bands far away, not looking very organized. That's just due to the extended range of the radar out on here. Do want to note, though, eastern edge of the Taiwanese mountains right in here. Definitely expect some flash flooding and possible mudslides as this system makes landfall. Actually, right in this area, just to the southeast of Taipei, as a possible Category 3 equivalent typhoon out in here with sustained winds, possibly between 100 and 110 knots. So very dangerous situation. Winds and a storm surge, though, not really the biggest concern is so much the flash flooding as we saw with last year's typhoon. A very dangerous situation in here. And here is showing the current winds provided by JMA right in here. Just basically showing max sustained about 20 to 22 meters per second. That's equivalent about 50 to 60 knots of winds. Now this is sustained on a 10-minute average. Do want to note that. With a wind gust, though, and even on these back in the States, we do it on a 1-minute average. So that plus wind gusts, seen above typhoon strength already winds in this area. So something I do want to note pertaining to JMA right in here. And here's the current surface analysis showing the typhoon moving off to the west right in here is moving along the southern periphery of the subtropical ridge. You can see this ridging in right from the west pack high, and also bubble high that basically formed up behind this low that moved off to the northeast over the past 48 hours. So this high pressure moved in behind it, which kept this low from moving off to the northeast and doing a recurve instead of just shooting off to the west towards Taiwan along the southern periphery of the Ryukyu Islands right in here. Do want to note, though, by the time it moves over Taiwan, very mountainous in there. A lot of this is going to be rained out. Bad news for Taiwan. Kind of good news for China, though. That whole area is already sustaining a lot of flood damage over the past few weeks. Very flooded throughout this entire region. So kind of good news. By the time it makes it through the Taiwan Strait and onto mainland China, there should be a weak tropical storm to tropical depression. And just showing the track from a J2WC one more time here. Sure, everybody's seen this multiple times during today. Max sustained winds 110 to 135 knots expected just prior to landfall towards Taiwan. So a Category 3 system out of this, and I already noted, though, precipitation in the mountainous areas on the eastern slopes here definitely the biggest concern as far as here. Also watching these southern Ryukyu Islands, though, they're definitely going to be within the core eye wall, and forecasting actually max right around 70 knots sustained on a 10-minute average. So very dangerous situation in there. It could be worse if the system just jogs a few miles to the north. So it's right front quadrant, so as everybody knows, it's a very, very dangerous situation. And that is all for right now. Have another update in the morning, so everybody stay safe tonight. I will be monitoring this all night, so if you want to try to get a hold of me, just shoot me an email or hit me up on one of these forums that I'm usually posting in. So have a good night, everybody. Stay safe in the Ryukyu Islands in Taiwan there, and hopefully talk to you in the morning.